And so it seemed like there was a lack of direction and leadership and a lot of like empty virtue signaling. Like there was the stay home campaign, and then it seemed like there was a lot of mistreatment of small businesses. Like people were under the misconception that small businesses were getting a lot more support than they actually were getting. I mean, there was CEBA, which was a loan, and then the 10% wage subsidy. But other than that, there really wasn't much there for small businesses.
Yeah, again, I think in the initial stages, the government worked and acted very slowly, especially for support of small business. The original wage subsidy was 10% when other countries were offering 60, 70, 80%. Yes, there is CEBA, but yes, it's a loan, and most small businesses don't need further loans in order to make their businesses survive. Adding to their debt level is not a great solution. So I think these things were slow to get started, slow to roll out, slow to implement. Other than CERB, I like to call things fairly. The government did a very good job on getting CERB out to people quickly when they needed it, which I think alleviated a lot of Canadian stress. But they did not offer a similarly quick and simple platform for small businesses. And I think that was the challenge that has been faced. I know just in the downtown Orangeville BIA area, I think there's been approximately 10 businesses that have closed as a result of COVID. And it's not a large downtown business area.
No, no. But speaking of CERB, like to start off with, they started off with like an expanded employment insurance, which basically seemed like the same thing that they did in the United States. And I mean, I don't really think that would have been adequate. And I mean, really, to get for small business owners to become eligible for that expanded employment insurance, like they have to become infected or have kids that had it as well. And I mean, otherwise, you would have been basically encouraged to commit fraud if you were going to be eligible for that insurance.
Yeah, you had to have lost your job for CERB or have a family member, sorry, have to have lost your job as a result of COVID, or had a family member you were taking care of with respect to COVID and sort of all of these things. It was a little complicated at first, but once the shutdowns of all the businesses was taking place, everyone was going to be eligible for those. Now, there was very little oversight done with respect to the distribution of CERB, and I think uh, there's the danger of getting money out too quickly, so everyone can apply who may or may not be entitled, and we've certainly seen some anecdotal evidence that that is what's happened with CERB. The number of CERB claimants certainly wasn't matching the number of people who were unemployed, the unemployment numbers. So a lot of people were claiming CERB that did not lose their job as a result of COVID-19. And I think that was the challenge of basically just saying, swear this attestation that you lost your job as a result of CERB, and here's your money.
Yeah, yeah. I was originally sorry. I was originally meaning the expanded employment insurance, which they started before CERB, like that
Oh,
original response, which again would have shut out a lot of small business owners. And a lot of them felt abandoned essentially by the Liberals' original proposal, because
absolutely.
it was very like it could have led to a lot of bad things, like again crime, addiction, abuse, suicide. Like it would have been terrible. It's a good thing that they expanded to CERB. Like
Absolutely. It was the right decision.
yeah, but how would you like to would you like to comment on the Liberals? I would, in my opinion, thankfully failed attempt to get the ability to grant broad spending and taxing powers to the cabinet without parliamentary oversight into the same bill as CERB.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they had some legitimate concerns that things financially in the country could have gone a lot worse than they were, which was the genesis of that idea. But when we were agreeing to have almost no parliamentary oversight, requesting the authority to spend infinite amounts of money without any parliamentary approval it's a very, very dangerous precedent, one that we were not prepared to give the Liberals that authority. And we fought very hard in order to make sure that that didn't pass. And the challenge in this minority government is all you need is one dance partner for the government, and that's either the NDP or the Bloc. If either one of them are on side with something the government wants to do, we are left with some real challenges. Now, the only sort of card that we had in our deck was that we were trying to operate everything on unanimous consent, which allows these programs to pass quickly. If there was not unanimous consent, well, then you have to get back into some actual parliamentary work, which would have very, very much slowed down some of these programs. So we were able to use that to negotiate certain things like removing the unlimited spending power.
That's all. That's great. 'Cause, I mean, it was great to see everyone come together and actually work on what was important, and it was awesome to see that because people did get help because of it.
That's right.
Extremely important. Awesome.